Well, hello, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Boring Guy Plays, and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are building Azure Delta. So, the last couple of episodes have been massive. I've been just really enjoying playing this game at the moment, so things have gone a little bit over time, but I think this might be a little bit of a shorter build this week. Now, our main focus over the last few episodes has been using sort of this area here that was freed up by shifting a lot of our industries, out of the city, both towards our international gateway over here and also just around the place where they sort of fit in. Today, we'll continue some of the prep work to use more of this area, but there's actually some other things we need to take care of as well. So deathcare is a major one. Obviously, with the economy rebalance that's happened, we are still in the grip of a massive death wave here, and our facilities just can't cope with it. Let's be honest. I will pull up my deathcare, 5th time's a charm. And as you can see, our crematorium availability is not great at all. And our cemeteries are looking okay. At the end of the last episode, I actually did go through and lay down a few crematoriums to try and get on top of this. And it's not had a massive impact. So we need... What sort of capacity do these have? They've got a capacity of 100 a month, so we need like 10 more unless we go through and upgrade everyone we have. And let's see what we get with that. So we can increase our storage capacity and also... Well, pretty much we need like everything, don't we? We'll probably need another hearse garage to increase the amount of hearses we can send out. Also a refrigerator expansion. And an additional incinerator as well. If we go through and upgrade every crematorium we have pretty much, we should be able to be a little bit more on top of, the demands we've got here. So what else? Where else do we have? Got one over here as well. That one can't fit a new garage in. I mean, we could put one here, but I don't want to limit further or future expansion of our rail line, so I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it, but it doesn't look great. Hopefully, not all of these are permanent. Hopefully, some of these will be able to, go ahead and remove eventually when we get on top of this death wave. Where else do we have them? Could have sworn there was one somewhere else over here. That's already got the incinerator upgrade. And we can probably... get a new hearse garage over there. Where else? We're getting closer to being able to handle all of this. Did we place one in here? I reckon we probably didn't. No, and that's okay. We don't have a heap of residential here anyway. So how are we looking now? I mean, we're pretty close to having a decent capacity. We probably need maybe 2 more. Possibly one in the city, to be honest. We've got obviously quite a large population centralized here. And we had, 2 crematoriums. So I reckon 1 more. It's probably going to be good. We could probably put the crematorium in the park. It'd be even, actually... I wonder if we could even get a cemetery in here. Actually, probably not, because the topography is not going to be fantastic. Just in general, I don't think it's fantastic. Let's see. I mean, it's not the worst. We could potentially get a cemetery in this area here. I do want to eventually put housing in this area, but a cemetery isn't going to hurt things too much, I don't think. I think it's probably, still going to be pretty decent. What upgrades do we have here? A temple. Got a, what is it, like a mausoleum type thing? That is a mausoleum. So we might do a little bit of topographic improvement here, and then we'll look to potentially get some of that stuff in. Actually, I need to check. Can we place outbuildings on a path? I reckon we probably can't, can we? Oh, we can. We just need to turn off snapping, right? Yeah, okay. Cool. That's lovely. I like that. That gives us quite a large, in fact, upgrade to our storage. So how is our capacity now? We're still need to work on it. It's interesting that you can't add additional hearses. Now, this increases the storage capacity, but it doesn't add more hearses, does it? No. That's all right. I think this is a nice addition, and it will be a nice addition to the city. But we're still not quite there. We're still a little bit behind, so probably one crematorium will do it at this point. And around this area here probably is going to be where it ends up. Maybe on sort of this side of Platypus Park. We might need to remove a business potentially to make that happen, which is not ideal. No, it is not, but it's probably our only option. Otherwise, we could put one next to the train station. I mean, it's not ridiculous putting one there. Oh, it doesn't quite fit though, does it? Unfortunate. We can fix this. All right. Now I'm hoping this will resolve all of our problems. Apparently I can't snap this. Oh, right. All right, how are we looking now? So close. So close. Okay, one more then. And I think Concord Bluff might be where we're at. Actually, we've already got one here. Can we sneak in another? We've got this little tiny space next to our police station here that we're going to lose some buildings. I made an executive decision that it's worth it. There we go. Just crammed in there. Easy as you can. And we are now just about handling it. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to leave it for the moment and hopefully we'll start to see some stabilization of that death rate. Hopefully we'll actually be able to pull out some of these crematoriums before too long. But I'm not confident about that. So we'll see how we go. Next thing we need to work on is our schooling. As you can see, not good. Schooling rates are terrible, which has been something I've been struggling with a little bit. Interestingly, our university capacity is only like just there, even though we've, built that whole massive campus. So that's interesting. But what we need to do is we need to start to work on this, from the bottom up. So we need to get our elementary capacity up to snuff. From there, we will work on high school and then we'll look to get a few, but not too many colleges in as well. I think definitely our CBD area is where we're going to need to get at least one more school. An urban elementary school is going to be ideal here because, of course, it'll fit in reasonably well with obviously what we've got here. We could look to slot it in here. We're going to lose, one building? In fact, no, we won't even. We can just sneak it in on the corner there. We're going to fully upgrade it as well. And our operating districts for this one is going to be sort of across our main CBD areas. I wonder, I just want to see, could we sneak in an extension room, or an extension wing, I should say, for our small elementary school in this little gap here? Yes, we can. Beautiful. It only has a capacity of 500 either way. I think we can actually get multiple in as well, but we don't really have anywhere else. We can... Why? Why no attach? Very annoying. Very unfortunate. I don't know if it would fit in anyway, would it? No, I think the whole building needs to be within the footprint. So yeah, that probably wouldn't have worked either way. And that's already filled up as well. Let's see, actually. Let's go back to our urban high school. It's not quite full yet. Okay, so maybe capacity is about right in this area. But yeah, it looks like in the Bluegum Hills district, it's definitely a bit too low. I'm actually thinking this city park might need to make way for a new school. Let's have a look. Can we fit a full-sized elementary school here? It looks like we can. So yeah, sadly, we're going to need to make that happen. But I think we should be able to get an alternative in somewhere. Where's our overlapping items? Oh, so close. So we need another, what, roughly 4,000 capacity, which is 2 urban elementary schools or like 3 regular ones. I wonder how this one's going now. Okay, so that's full now as well. So that is definitely telling us that we need more capacity. It's actually right next to a regular elementary school. I did not even see that. But I'm seeing this block here where the development is very sparse. I don't know if I didn't zone properly. We've just got a little bit of a dead zone there. So it probably makes sense for us to resume this little bit of land and get a high school on that as well. Platypus Park might be the last area that we get a school into. All of these are full, all the ones we've got here right now. Did we get another one in? No, we didn't. The question is, where can we lay it down? Because, I mean, the gridding is not particularly dense here, but we don't have a lot of room to work with either way. I don't know if we could potentially get one off Thornton Street in the other direction, maybe? Or we could squeeze a couple of small elementary schools in. I'm sure we'd be able to find somewhere where they would fit with no issues. Madison Street actually has a short segment where we don't have any housing. So we could potentially do that. Get a couple of extension wings. Of course, we're probably, I reckon we need to get a pedestrian crossing here with the lights as well. Just as a safety measure, of course, the game's not really going to care if we've got that in, but I think it makes sense if we're having sort of 2 parts of school on, it's not really a main road, but it's certainly a wide one. Let's see if we can get one in. We might need to add a new segment or something like that, which we might actually be able to do. We might be able to, if we just use Anarchy and just place in like so, and then pull it out, that might maintain the segment breaker that we added in. No, it doesn't look like it does. Or, of course, we could add a path in, which will definitely maintain it. We move, sort of space these out. We can get a pedestrian crossing in there. So we've spaced those out, so we should be able to get a pedestrian crossing in there, and it's actually automatically added the lights in. Apparently it didn't. That's okay. We don't want a crossing on this one though. Just the one crossing is fine. Oh no, it is. Yeah, there are lights there. Perfect. So hopefully that is safe enough. It's already at capacity as well. And we are ever so close. Well, not really. We're 2,000 behind again, obviously, because our population is still growing reasonably quickly. Once again, we've got a little bit of an undeveloped or underdeveloped little block here. So I wonder if we could sneak in an urban high school there. And how much are we going to lose? We're going to lose a fair bit, but not everything. This should, more or less, I mean, it is, yes, 100% eligibility we now have, or we're covering 100% of our eligibility, so that's good. It's a good start, but we're going to need to monitor this closely, not let it get out of control again. But now we need to move on to high school, which might be a little bit more challenging because they take up a little bit more room. All right, so now on to high school. So I said high school will be a challenge. It's actually probably not as much of a challenge as it could be, but they're lower capacity, which is interesting to me because the high schools I went to were much higher capacity than the primary or elementary schools I went to. So possibly a little bit weird, but where do we have our high schools? I think we've got, how's a college? So do we not have a high school in this entire area? Got that one there, and that's it. I mean, that's probably part of the problem, isn't it? We've got no high schools. It's interesting. Can we fit, first of all, a small high school in this area here? Probably not. Can maybe get one down there. I don't know how the residents would feel about that. We can definitely get one in. That looks terrible. I am not going to do that. How's the topography look here? It's not too bad. We could potentially get a high school in this area here, and we might have even some space for a few outbuildings as well. So, regular high school. Oh, no, it will fit, but we will need to... Oh. We need to remove those roads, don't we? It will fit, we just need to slightly realign some of our paths, and that's okay. That's fine. We actually won't have room, really, for much. We definitely won't have room for a field, but let's give it the full kit out. I think that's cool. And we're just going to relay some paths as well. There we go, and I'm happy with having a pedestrian crossing there with lights as well. I think that's probably good. This is going to, at least initially, well, actually no. Let's have it cover these areas here. Our initial high school, where does that cover? It actually doesn't have district set up. Noted. And this guy over here does. This guy over here does as well. In fact, we can probably boost the operating districts for this one as well. Maybe take in the students from Sunrise Springs and Acacia Hill as well. I would say we've got room for an urban high school here. Toggle snapping off and see if we can. Actually, that's not a major road, so we can have it on Sheffield Street. I think that's fine. And we'll give it the full kit out as well. This one can operate in Concord Bluff and Kookaburra Hills. That actually gets, that fixes everything. That's enough capacity for us. I just want to make sure, where do we have a high school over here? Got this one. We can probably use a high school in this area as well, because it is at capacity. I wonder if we've got any more blocks that are a little bit weird. Potentially over here might be good. Once again, we'll just give it the full upgrade. Okay, I'm happy with this now. I think we're a little bit over-provisioned in terms of high schools, and our elementary schools. It was dipped under, but that's okay for the moment. We just need to keep a very close eye on it. College is an issue. I think we've got 2 colleges right now. We've got this one over here. We've already got the extension wing on that one, and I think we've got one over here as well, which already has the extension wing as well. I think that's all the colleges we've got, to be honest. So probably we could use another. Question is where? Got all this land in Parker Heights that we're not using, which was due to the pollution and such. We've got a little bit of a flat piece of land here. Might actually need to slightly redo our high school. Move that one out of the way. And then we should be able to fit in a college. Almost. Very close. We could possibly... Which way does the road need to go? The other way. We'll turn off snapping. We'll switch this around. It was actually facing the right way already. Decent. And then what we'll do, we'll get a little alley. Runs down here. And then turns into the street. Might even get a library built for this one as well. There you go. So our students, I don't think we have districts set for our colleges, and I'm okay with that. We can just leave those as sort of wide serving colleges. And that should... Yeah, perfect. So elementary school continues to be a little bit of a worry. We need to just be aware of that. But we've got enough to sort of deal with any future challenges we have in that regard. So yeah, pretty good. Now next up, I want to consider our power needs. So we've got this large coal power plant here, which was what we needed at the time when we built it. There's a couple of issues with it. Of course, we've got topography that's not great, which is my fault. And as well as that, we've got this obviously quite majorly polluting building that is quite close to our new residential area. And we want this area here for residential anyway, so we need to look at a new solution. And I think we're in a good position right now to look at making our power grid a little bit more carbon neutral. I considered a few different areas that we could look to devote to a bit of a larger solar farm. Of course, we've got one over here. One thing I actually realized is that if we look at our power plant, that's currently producing 207 megawatts. Our solar plant's producing almost 160. It's not even that much worse than the coal power plant. Of course, in real life, you would probably need a lot more in terms of solar panels and things like that to, you know, match up to a coal power plant. But in game, at least, they're not all that much different. So I was considering where we could look to get a new precinct in, and I think on the outside of our rail line coming into our airport might be a good choice. We are reasonably close to pollution. I don't know if that reduces the amount of light we get, things like that. It doesn't look like it does, to be honest. So it looks like we're probably okay. So what we will do is we'll just lay a road just reasonably parallel to our rail line. And then we will get an alley. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hopefully be able to fit in at least 2 to 3 power plants here. I might actually take it back a little bit so we don't hit our dodgy welcome to Azure Delta sign. So we'll take it back to about here or so. We can now get in one there, one there. One thing is we're quite close to the motorway, and that could actually cast some shadow. But it's probably okay. Oh god. I'm stuffing this up majorly right now. Alright, we've got a connection there. That should be everything. I think this puts out both high and low voltage, doesn't it? I think so. So we can... There's a couple of things we can do here. We can pretty much just feed our high voltage lines into the network. That's nice and easy. We're also going to get these upgraded with the advanced tracking system as well. So we now have our power plant completely hooked in. It's not getting enough water. I wonder why that's the case. Why are you facing that way? You're facing the wrong way. No, you're not. It's okay. Probably the reason is we need to just finish hooking up the alley. That should fix the issues. No? Are we running short of water then? Okay, we are. And we just built a ground pumping station as well. So let's have a look. Do these use a massive amount of water or something like that? Doesn't really say, does it? But that's okay. We should be able to find some nice groundwater or pump from the river fairly easily. Actually right here. Like an old-timey pumping station. Alright, there we go. That should cover off all of our water needs. I mean, it somewhat does. Can we upgrade this with more pumps? Yeah, we can add on an additional pump as well. And what does that place it at? We're still in that sort of almost yellow zone where we're in danger of falling below, but we're okay at the moment. Well, it looks like we need some more sewage treatment as well. Oh, hang on. Advanced water pumping station, 1 million meters cubed of water per month. I think we might need to actually unlock that. We've got plenty of progression points. So there's no problem there whatsoever. And we should be able to find a nice place for this that is... I mean, we could even... Wait. What's the problem here? Water facility overload. We could even replace this guy with it. No water. Have we sucked up all the water here? Already? Hang on. Oh, okay. So this is still using... Interesting. We could look to upgrade one of these guys, potentially. Okay, we might place it out here. I'm fairly confident we're never going to have industry come this far out. So I think we should be safe to do that. Like so, and that should hopefully solve those flow issues. Yeah, I might just pull this guy back out. We just don't need it now. We should have like 1 billion litres of availability. Yes, we do. But yes, we still do need the wastewater treatment plant. I think we are somewhat at risk of of coming unstuck here. And we can probably just get it in quite close to our industrial area. Oh, you can only build one of those as well. That's interesting. Perfect. Now, if we look at our electricity availability, well, look at this. Ridiculous. So what we are going to do, we're going to switch off our coal power plant, at least for the moment. In fact, I might just demolish it. So we'll be able to begin... I don't know what the hell's happened there. We're going to be able to begin to remediate this area. What about our battery capacity? We've got so much. They've definitely got enough to deal for any, like, fluctuations in power due to the nature of renewables, I would say. So I think we are looking really, really strong in terms of our power. We can also export clean energy to the region as well. So really good. But it's time to work on the big build for this week. Obviously, I've spent much of the last few episodes working on remediating and redeveloping these areas here. And that will continue once we get some of the pollution removed and remediated. But at the moment, we are still in drastic need of housing and pretty much everything, to be honest. We've still got a large industrial demand, so we probably are going to extend our industry over here as well. But right now, we'll sort of figured off the cemetery we built a little bit earlier. And I want to develop some of this area up here for residential and commercial. Now, the good news is it's relatively flat. It's a little bit difficult to see the contours because of all the trees, but there's not too many of them. So if we level the terrain to the level of our cemetery, we should be pretty good, I would say. Now we should get a fairly level pad, which we can then, of course, push back down at the edges, because we're sort of, once we get to about here, we're starting to get a little bit high off the sort of natural terrain height, but it's not too bad. We do have our little medieval castle ruins over here that we do want to preserve, and I think we'll keep sort of quite a large space around that. We'll fill in with parks and paths and things like that for people to take advantage of that and go and have a look at the ruins, etc. And I'm just going to smooth out the edges now of what I've placed. What we're trying to avoid here is cliff textures. We'll probably do some slope terrain tool around the place as well, because we're going to need, multiple entries and exits to this area. Largely, we're just going to leave it so that the cliff texture's gone. What's happened here? What have we got there? We got our fire watchtower. I mean, you are surplus to requirements now because you are sort of in the middle of our of our city now. So I'm just going to extend this main road as far as it'll go till we hit the edge of our contours. Nice and straight. Perfect. Happening there? Nothing. In terms of our grid, I'm just wondering how we could lay it out. I might surround our cemetery with its own little subgrid. Not subgrid, but gonna have its own sort of dedicated little area. All right, there we go. Now, in terms of our main grid, what do we want to look at? Let's see what our grid tool thinks. We don't often look at the grid tool, do we? But I mean, it makes interesting stuff, doesn't it? Right, that's a pretty reasonable grid. Just need to remember how big that was. It was 304 meters, and we could pretty much do the same thing on this side. And we'll have a nice... stuffed it. Oh no. It's okay. Okay, that should be fine. And if we switch this back over, I don't think it'll cause any issues. Apparently we've got a little dip there, but I'm not noticing it. And yeah, we've got a whole lot of grid now. We do need a way to connect up to Elizabeth Glen as well. We want to have some joining connections, I don't know. We want to have some connectivity there, because otherwise there's a big cul-de-sac. I think we should be able to do that with the use of the slope terrain tool. Don't know if this is going to be... it might work. Let's see how we go. Workable. 5% grid. Not too bad. I wonder if we convert this guy into a 4-lane road as well. Just so it joins up nicely with these ones. Possibly. We could have it come out a little bit further over to here. We'll do the same with this one. We will have it go a little bit further out. Actually, this one here. So it's interesting, we're sort of like spreading out the roads a little bit, so it's a bit of a weird, bit of an interesting little change to the road topography. I think it should be okay. Now, along this main road, we're going to get some high density commercial. We've sort of not really placed a lot of that down for a while. We'll also get some high density residential in that zone as well. So how big are these? $17. Bit annoying. We'll go with 8 and have a alley down the middle. 5, 6, 7, 8. Just on the other side, I'll just make sure I think we've actually gone up to 9. And we'll do the same on the other side. Perfect. Residential, we will be going with high density. Which we've not really built any of in quite a while, so I'm a little bit impressed that the demand has just disappeared straight away. We'll also get a couple of small nodes of low rent housing as well, just to support those in need. Get those alleys in that I talked about as well. And I think this sub-block here, we will get medium density. And we might also get a few row houses along this road here as well. Of course, we need to think of city services here. We don't want another repeat of completely running out of capacity, so we're going to get a elementary school in here from the get-go. Might leave it as is for the moment without the upgrade. We'll see how we go. We also needed a new district here as well. And what are we going to call this? I don't like Ivy Peak. Let's try something else. Let's go with Katara. I'm just popping in a random suburb from the city I live in. And I think this should be fairly good if it just deals with just a couple of nearby districts. That's probably going to drop the students as well. And for high schoolage, we are dropping under again, of course, as expected, right? And the question is, where can we get in a high school? Possibly this block here, we can have it somewhat integrated with our little park we want to build. We'll get a full-size high school there. Playing fields. Is it a little bit offensive having a playing field next to a cemetery? I mean, probably. Once again, Katara and Elizabeth Glen. For fire, how are we going? All right. And we've got 2 fire stations in this area, so we're probably okay. We will probably just need to formalize the connection down to the... Hang on, is that... Okay, so that's actually just a firefighting helicopter depot, so we might get another one in that case. I'll go with the urban firehouse as well, because I think it's going to fit in quite nicely with the builds. And what upgrades do we have for this one? We actually don't have any. There you go. Once again, though, very, very cool building. Very cool. least is looking all right in this area, although we do have some crime down here, I've just noticed, so potentially might need to look at it. We still got quite a bit of demand for medium density, so we might get a little bit more in. I think we will zone more high density along here. And then potentially the rest we will get in as medium density. That should all start to build out fairly quickly. Not as quickly as I thought it would. Oh, we are now seeing it drop right off. Perfect. And I think what we might do with High Street, we might have it sort of curve around, join up with this road here with Thornton Street to have like a secondary connection. And of course, we'll also have it split off to Garnet Street as well. So if we go from here and then do a bit of a curve around there, it's quite a difference in topography, isn't it? It's quite pronounced. Yeah, pretty decent. And Garnet Street as well. There we go. So we've got a few different connections now. So hopefully we're not going to have any traffic jams or explosions or anything like that. Now, I've been thinking about public transport. So a metro is probably not going to make sense right now, potentially in the future, but it's just deviating too much from our current lines. If we have a look, our metro line goes that way. There's not really any other way to handle that unless we have two separate lines going in different directions, which might be an option. No, not right now. So what we are going to be doing is actually extending our tram network into Katara. We'll have it probably flow via Moore Street here. It'll, make a turn here, head up Moore Street, potentially just head to the end of Maple Street where our traffic sort of stops, and then returning. I don't know if there's any use having it go in that direction. Obviously, we've got the roundabout there as well anyway, so we would need to make something happen there. So I think just a fairly standard point-to-point route at the moment is going to suit us fine, and we can of course look to change or improve that if we need to. We can probably upgrade this. Could we? Let's have a look. Because I noticed the buildings are quite far back off the road. I wonder if we could make this a 3-lane road without doing too much damage. It looks like we probably could if we turn off snapping. I said that and then it took out buildings on both sides, so that was poor effort from me. Can we fix that? However, I don't want to convert this because we're just laying buildings down, so... Or do I? We're doing it. Okay, so that will give our tram dedicated right of way, or it should anyway. All right, there we go. So we've got that all laid out and ready to go. We should hopefully get our buildings that we built and then removed, hopefully popping back up shortly. And now it's time to get the line built. So where will we have this one terminate? We probably will, before too long, look to rationalize these lines a little bit, because at the moment I think they may not make the most sense. But I might be keen to have this line terminate at a station. Probably want to get stops here, to be honest. So we might get a stop there. Here we go. Now, I don't think we can have our trams reverse from this stop here. I don't think. Let's see. Actually, we probably don't need to see at all. It's just not going to happen. And how is our Tram Depo going in terms of vehicles? We're getting up there, so we may potentially need a second one. A bit annoying, to be honest, because I feel like we've only got a handful of stops. Do we really need another depot? Oh well. I'm really keen to see how this new area develops, as well as how the new tram line that we've built today gets utilized. Whether or not it's seen as useful by the community, anything like that. Whether or not they're actually going to rebuild any of the buildings that were knocked down. Yeah, it's a good chance they probably won't, isn't there? At least not for the moment, because we have no demand for high or medium densities. It's going to look a little bit ugly for a little bit, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's shaping up to be quite a good looking area. Before I finish off, I'm going to do a little bit of work around this sort of precinct here. So I want to do a little bit of beautification, as well as get our new park area set up encompassing the castle ruins. Looks like we're starting to see a bit of congestion on this road here as well. So we can upgrade that to an asymmetric road. And that should... might have only one through lane. I don't think that's actually going to look very good, is it, if we do that? Not really. So we might set up 2 turning lanes then. Which should be a little bit better. We might also upgrade this one to asymmetric as well. Which is, unfortunately, reset some of our connections, but that's okay. Alright, there we go. So I think that should improve the flow a little bit more. Well, there you go. I think this build is looking pretty nice. We've still got a little bit further land that we can develop, but I think it's definitely a nice start in terms of handling the demand that we have that we weren't really taking all that good care of. But that is going to be about all we've got time for in this episode, so I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You'll find links to my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patron, Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for helping to make this content possible. If you want to help out at home, you can do so by joining at patreon.com/BobDendry. By becoming a member of the YouTube channel, we can also just give a one-off thanks for the content with a super thanks on this YouTube video. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Cities Skylines 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.